This new therapist is a genius. He could tell that I needed to be on mood stabilizers within 5 minutes of meeting me.
It took him that long?
Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Summer's Child and today we're watching a TV series called Devious Maids. The story follows 4 Latina maids. It's based on a telenovela, so the storytelling flows from everyday mindless gossip about people they know to casual murder investigation the heroes can do in their free time. Every season has ridiculous plot points played for laughs and a serious crime to be figured out to save somebody's life.
My maid was murdered! Who's gonna clean all this up?
At the very beginning, one of the maids is murdered during a party and a young man is arrested. Flora was her name, had many big secrets. Only her maid friends knew about them and they decided to keep quiet.
This was Flora's secret. I say we let it die with her.
Zoila and her daughter Valentina are the maids of Genevieve, a dramatic woman who keeps marrying and divorcing every rich man she meets, and her son Remy, who's in medical school, but decided to move back home to get his mom out of her blues after her last breakup.
I'm tired of being humiliated.
Humiliated?
Jamal left her.
He said I looked like I was 40.
Well, that's not bad since you're almost 60.
Carmen, the maid of the macho Latino singing star Alejandro, who secured herself this job in order to get closer to him, trying to realize her dream of becoming a famous singer.
It's nice to have you with us, Carmen.
It is so wonderful to meet you, and I am thrilled to be working with you. I'll take care of this.
Rosie is the maid of 2 movie stars who fight constantly and barely pay attention to their baby while she's trying to get her son over the border and into the US.
I won 2 Soap Opera Digest awards.
The fact that you think that's impressive makes me want to vomit and weep for you.
And last but definitely not least is Marisol, who works for Michael and his new young wife Taylor, even though she seems educated enough to be doing a different, better paying job. But for some mysterious reason, she wants to do this with her life, to get closer to a certain rich circle of people.
I may unclog drains for a living, but that doesn't mean I'm stupid. And for what it's worth, my friends say I give really good advice.
But if Marisol wants the real juicy details of everyone's lives, she has to join the maids on their lunch breaks and dish about her employers, so maybe she can get the truth about the murdered maid.
God, is it awful of me to gossip about my employers?
Honey, if you're gonna sit by us, it's a requirement.
This interesting lady found her way into the house where the murder took place and started cleaning and looking around for evidence while dancing a verbal tango with the owner of the house.
Are you ambitious, Marisol?
There are things I want.
Well, if you continue to be this nice to me, I will see to it that you get them.
Adrian Powell, the man who had Flora killed in his estate, is onto Marisol's little dangerous game, so she better watch out if she wants to help her son out of the big trouble he's in.
I want to get out of here, Mom.
I'm working on it, baby.
To get even closer to the scene of the crime, Marisol asked if she can go clean that house regularly. But her employer, Taylor, refused due to her hatred to the Powells. But then she had to change her mind after Adrian Powell blackmailed her somehow.
I've changed my mind. You can work at the Powell's house. Really?
We had a little talk. She is absolutely sure.
She tried her best to seduce Adrian to trick him into confessing anything, while he used the same technique on her, only for their proverbial dance to be interrupted by a letter from the dead woman filled with sorrow and pain.
Wait, what was that?
Nothing.
Marisol started to get closer to the truth, revealing so much dirt on the Powells, and her motives for going through all that trouble is heartbreaking. The young man who was accused of killing Flora is in fact her only son.
When you first told me about this plan, I thought you were crazy. But for the record, I think that what you're willing to do for your son is extraordinary.
And you must not have children.
When the brave lady found herself in a dangerous situation in the murder house, she kept her wits about her and used it all to her advantage, trying to lure in an influent man at the Powell's party to get into his wallet when he thought she was after his pants.
You didn't need to spill a drink on me to get my pants off.
Pardon?
I'm in a position to change your life.
If you take one more step, I will hit you.
Rosie, the other maid, being a nice woman, didn't want to hurt Spence, her employer, by telling him his wife is cheating on him. But when he gave her the money she needs to bring her son to her, she felt, well, things happening between them.
You're such a good man.
You are an amazing woman.
Marisol ran into one of her old students at the store when she was out shopping with Rosie, and her secret is out. They fight and shout, but for all her pleading, Marisol could not get Rosie to forgive her lying. So she does what any sensible adult might do and resorts to blackmailing Rosie about her relationship with her married boss.
So here's the deal. You don't tell my secret, I won't tell yours.
When Rosie received the letter from her son, she felt how much she misses him and found it in her heart to forgive a mother for lying, and she even offered to help out.
You keep your secret. It's safer, but it's good I know the truth, because now I can help you.
When Zoila catches a glimpse of her daughter flirting with Mr. Remy, she gives her a very chilling speech about some facts in life coming from some bitter experience.
Rich boys, they never fall in love with the help.
In an interesting turn of events, Valentina recruited the assistance of Geneviève, who was a helpless romantic, to get the attention of Remy, and the lady's response was so pure and loving towards the help, which was really refreshing and surprising. Kudos to the writers.
That is a glorious thing, to be in love. And you're not angry because I'm just a maid? Oh, no, darling. That is what you do. That's not who you are.
Amazing scene between Zoila and her daughter. Each one is trying to explain her point of view to the other about love amongst the rich and the poor. The mother is of course trying to shield her baby from heartbreak, whereas the youngster is running a million miles an hour towards her passion with no care in the world. Beautiful relationship between these two and wonderful acting from these two actresses.
They're all alike. Don't you get that? They think money gets them anything they want, or anyone.
Would you say you ended up with the love of your life?
Absolutely.
Then let me end up with mine.
After many failed attempts to let Alejandro listen to her songs and being threatened of losing her job, Carmen found the easiest way to get into the man's ears.
You got a nice voice, Carmen.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Sam, who works at Alejandro's house, same as Carmen, asks her out many times and she always says no because she wants to put her dream career as a singer first. But that will not stop Sam from trying.
You ever get hungry?
I'm not going to dinner with you, Sam.
How did you even jump to that?
The next thing I know, we're married, we have 2 kids, I stop singing, and then I don't like you at all.
But those are good-looking kids, right?
Carmen is married. Her husband came calling, speaking to her in a discouraging way, trying to convince her to forget about her dream singing career already and come back home with him. When she flat out refuses, he does what any sane adult might do and resorts to violence, attacking her, prompting Sam to react. But he gets his behind kicked, so Odessa, the head of the help in the house, comes to Carmen's rescue. I like that Odessa saved Carmen, not just the buff dude who's in love with her, and the maturity on Sam's behalf in accepting that Carmen does not want a relationship, but she might like an ally, a friend, considering everything she's going through. Again, refreshing style of writing.
My whole life, I've had to fight for everything I've ever wanted. I never felt like anyone was on my side.
You don't want a relationship. Would you like a friend? That's what I'll be.
After he had started dating someone else, Carmen regretted her position with Sam and agreed to give the relationship a try, acting all cool and labeling what they share as friends with benefits. So one episode later and we're back to old cliches, until Carmen ran into her biggest fan, that is, and got busted about how she feels towards Sam. But what really caught her off guard is the lack of ambition in his life. Sam doesn't want to be anything but a butler. He's not looking for fortune or fame like Carmen is. He just wants to be happy, which makes Carmen afraid for their future together.
This isn't the boyfriend, is it?
It sure is.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Miss Carmen talks about you all the time, and her eyes just light up.
Do they really?
Remember, she forgot to take her meds.
How about you? What are you going to be when you grow up?
Actually, I'm happy doing what I do.
And the one solution Sam comes up with is to quit and leave to make something out of himself, without even discussing with Carmen if that was what she wants. I dislike shows that do that, cancelling all communication between characters for the sake of drama. It makes the characters look stupid and thoughtless. How could Sam throw everything he has away to uproot himself and leave in the hope of achieving some position in life to be fit for Carmen, without having any mature conversation about it first? He doesn't have to be somebody for her. They can both build each other up.
You can't just quit? That's crazy.
I can be more. I can do more.
After a lot of running around investigating everyone's affairs, Marisol discovers that the one she did not really know about his business was her own son. He was selling drugs with a partner that introduced the dead girl Flora to Remy and to many rich people because she was interested in getting pregnant by any one of them. Sadly for her, that was what got her killed.
I'm Eddie's mother. I will go to the police and I will tell them about your little endeavor.
Right there.
Remy Delator?
Now that Marisol knows that the killer could be someone close to Remy, she starts asking around who could it be. But after Remy getting insight to the entire story, he knows the man who raped Flora and ended her life and punches his lights out despite the fact that he is his father.
He didn't have the decency to leave the house before putting the moves on another woman.
Why don't you just shut up? And it will not matter one iota that your daughter is doing our son.
Finally, after all that time, Sam is back. And guess where he has been? He was training to become an agent in the music division to represent Carmen and make her dreams a reality. The problem is he doesn't want to do that in his life. He worked hard to get with her and make her happy, even though she was clear on where she stands. But the lack of communication between them and the fact that Carmen doesn't want a man to get her what she wants, but she aspires to achieve it all on her own so she wouldn't be in anyone's debt, left her friendless.
I love you, Carmen. So I'm gonna make it happen for you. I'm gonna make you a star.
That's great, but I don't really care about that anymore.
Huh?
As much as I want to admire Carmen for wanting to make her dreams come true on her own and not needing anyone's help, the best advice really about us all as humans is the following, put so eloquently by Uncle Iroh.
While it is always best to believe in oneself, a little help from others can be a great blessing.
Unfortunately for Marisol, Philippe, Remy's father, learned about her snooping around and decided to put a permanent end to it. But his lawyer and her employer, Michael, feared for her safety and asked her to leave his house immediately. She understood and said goodbye, but it was all too late.
Whoever this woman is, she is our friend and we have to protect her.
That's what I'm trying to do!
After losing his unborn baby to a misguided bullet, Michael was ready to tell Marisol the truth about Philippe, so she recruits her maid friends to trap the killer and make him confess.
Call Genevieve. Tell her you're worried that the caterers haven't hired enough people for the party. Luckily, you have a few friends who are willing to help out.
That little plan of theirs was not fruitful, so Adrian Powell and his wife end Philippe's life for stealing their maid, because good help is hard to come by, apparently.
You killed my maid, you son of a... Don't you know how hard it is to find good help?
Triumphant were the maids, and all is well that ends well. Until the second season, of course, with another silly little shenanigans and another murder. Our ladies can investigate and solve while doing their jobs and gossiping about everyone's business. Telenovelas are fun to watch. The events in them can always go from really, really hot to really, really cold and vice versa. They have a unique way of storytelling that you either love it or dislike it. I'm Summer's Child. Thank you so much for watching. See you very soon. Bye-bye.
My maid was murdered!